I grew up in South Danville, and my mom and dad were textile workers, as many of our neighbors were. And there were a lot of children on the street, and we had a lot of playtime, which what the games we played, the children of today, not only have they not heard of them, but I don't think they'd be content playing. But I enjoyed my childhood. And we all had gardens, and we would share vegetables. And in those days, you didn't even have chickens in your backyard. So we would have chickens, and we would whoever had the chickens would share their eggs, and it was not so unlike anyone else's childhood in that time. We would just walk up the railroad track to go to the movie theater. At the time, we had a recreation center was in Schoolfield, and there was a movie theater there, and we would walk there and go to the movie. On Saturdays, we would do odd jobs during the week, and then you could go to the movie. 9 o'clock in the morning, you could stay all day, and they would just keep showing the movie. Here you have to leave, but so you got your 9 cents worth. It was 9 cents to go in, and you could buy a box of popcorn for a nickel, a bar of candy, and a drink. So for a quarter, you could spend the day at the Schoolfield Theater, and that was enjoyable. I loved the farm. I loved to go, and it's still there. At the time, it was a dairy farm, and my uncle was the manager of the dairy farm, and I would spend weekends there and holidays, and I loved the milk as it would come down through the cooler, straight from the cows. It would come down through the cooler, and I'd stand there with a cup, and I would drink it, before anything had been done, and that's the best milk in the world. I would attend church. We would walk to church, and it was a Presbyterian church, and that's where we would go to Sunday school. And I had this Sunday school teacher, her name was Miss Rosa, and we just didn't know she ever married. And the love letter I found was to her. And I thought, and it was such a sweet love letter, and I didn't know if they really married or not. And so through the years, I did a lot of research, and I found that they did marry. And she was a school teacher here in Danville, and she would live here in Danville and go home to Bell Grove on the weekend. And but by the time I knew her as a school teacher, Sunday school teacher, he'd already passed away. But that's why I love Evelyn so much.
Would you like to read the love letter out?
My own precious darling Rosa. I thought that was so precious. And let me read some of this to you.
That'd be great.
It says, just 6½ hours has elapsed since I said goodbye to the sweetest woman in the world, which is the saddest word in the English language to a devoted lover like myself.